Posted about investing in real estate on Instagram the other day, and I had a huge response. It is obviously a topic that a lot of people have interest in, so we are going to be producing a lot more content talking about investing in real estate. Now, investing in real estate is a very general and broad statement. There are a variety of ways that you can invest in real estate. Number one, home ownership is the most basic form of investing in real estate. If you believed your property was going to be worth less in the next 5 years, you probably wouldn't buy real estate. You're buying it because you're expecting the property values to increase over the next few years. So the most general version of investing in real estate is owning your own home. You're going to be paying down the mortgage, property values should be increasing over time, and that's where you're going to really be making a return on your investment. Now, going a little bit deeper into that, you can get into what they're calling these days house hacking, but really all it is you're renting out the basement, or you can live in the basement and rent out upstairs, but you're going to generate some sort of income from the property you're living in. It's a great way to pay down your mortgage and to help you handle some of the costs associated with home ownership. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper into it, you can start owning properties that you don't necessarily live in. You can make that a single family home, duplex, a triplex. Anything over a 4-unit rental is actually deemed commercial by most banks. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that to anybody who's just thinking about getting into real estate. Now, they all have their pros and cons. Single family detached, the pro is it's a lot cheaper to get into, but the con is your entire investment is contingent on the payment of rent from one tenant. So if the tenant stops paying rent or it's vacant and you haven't found a renter yet, you're going to eat those costs for the next little while. On the flip side, when you look at duplexes and triplexes, it's going to be a little bit more expensive for you to get involved in it. However, if one unit is vacant, you're still going to be generating income from the other one. So there are pros and cons, but you really have to talk to your real estate agent and figure out what your goals are and what your expectations are in real estate investing. I highly recommend everyone to think about it. I think real estate investing is a phenomenal way to grow passive long-term wealth. Be cautious, and this I think is true with anything, but be cautious of people who are promising you these exorbitant returns on investments and telling you that there's absolutely no risk involved. Anything that is going to offer you some sort of reward is going to have inherent risk. If you want something that is absolutely zero risk, you can put your money into T-bills in a 98-day account with the banks, and you're going to get 0.01% return on investment, but at least your investment was safe. But if you actually want your money to work for you and in the long run, you should really consider real estate investing as an opportunity. Now, also understand that there's quite a few drawbacks with real estate investing. There's a lot of work and effort that goes into it. A lot of things can go wrong, but you have to acknowledge that before you go into it. The one thing I just tell people to stay away from is flips. Unless you have your own truck with your tools and you're a handy person, you've got connections with all the trades, I highly recommend people to stay away from flips because don't expect a lot of money in the short term. Flips can be extremely risky. There's a huge cost associated with it because buying and selling real estate is a very expensive proposition. So that's going to eat into your profit margins right there. And you have to just look into how much work do you actually expect to put into it. And even flips, I actually recommend buying properties that need a lot of work, but holding on to them and renting them out. I don't like holding on to real estate less than a year. Whenever I look into investing in real estate, or my play is usually looking minimum 3 to 5 years out, if not 10 and more.